It's the Weather Blender blog. It is the 1st of February. Get ready for Groundhog Day. Welcome on into the Weather Lab. Spencer Adkins with you. Let's sit down and check out the weather models. But first, real quick, a friend pointed out to me these are real nice and thorough, but they're too long. He's right. So thanks for joining us on the Weather Blender blog. No, I'm kidding. Here, let's get into the models real quick, though, because there is a lot to cover. Here's the big storm that we've been looking at for some time. Obviously, it's a beautiful monster storm here, if you like looking at these things. Snow from Maine all the way back through Michigan, all the way back through Kansas. And then we have severe weather down across the south. Rain for much of West Virginia and much of Kentucky and much of southern Ohio, but freezing rain around the Columbus area. There's a little look at it again. You see the low pressure center, northeast Arkansas. It's going to zip up along that yellow line and bring, something like 2 feet of snow to around the Chicagoland area. I've circled, though, another sneaky little area of low pressure around the Four Corners, not getting much attention. Cold air coming in around the east side of that big high, so that's going to drag in the cold air first. Then that sneaky little low has something to say about the end of the week for the eastern seaboard, even portions of West Virginia, Ohio, and Kentucky. This is what the GFS thinks we'll see in terms of snow across Wednesday through Thursday morning, 18-inch swath. Man, that's incredible. Stretching from Missouri through Illinois and western Michigan, about 16 inches to 12 inches around Detroit. And look at how it just drops off. It's 12, 8, 3, 2 by the time you get south of Toledo, just north of Columbus. And now this is including what happens after the storm goes by. So there's about a 3-inch stripe in areas of West Virginia in the high terrain, but as you can see, that's only in the high terrain. No snow expected around the Tri-State, Kanawha Valley, southern West Virginia, or the coal fields. Now this is ice by 7 o'clock Wednesday night. This is a problem. You can see it's a narrow swath, but boy, I tell you what, that's very impressive. Indiana, 3/4 of an inch, 1/2 of an inch, and then we pick up, oh my goodness, Pennsylvania. Luckily, it's just north of the Pittsburgh area, but perilously close to Punxsutawney, where we step up to about over an inch of ice in central Pennsylvania and northwestern Pennsylvania, and even portions of Massachusetts, where they don't need it. Now, let's get into the models real quick. Here we go. GFS model. This is looking out to 7 o'clock Friday. This is the next sneaky storm coming out of the Four Corners. This model shows the low sitting over the panhandle of Florida, and it's casting some rain all the way back on up into southern West Virginia around Bluefield. This is 7 o'clock Friday night. GFS then has that low going up through the Piedmont. That's important. The blue line is the rain-snow line. There is a little bit of snow across eastern Ohio and, let's say, west of I-79 in West Virginia, just a little bit of snow across sections of eastern Kentucky. That's by 7 a.m. Saturday. 2 p.m. Saturday, we have just kind of the leftovers as the low goes right on up out east of the Delmarva and heading up toward Long Island. That's the GFS take on that. Canadian model take on that. This is by 7 a.m. on Saturday morning. Very interesting. It has the low, a really wide low, almost like 3 different centers. And there's another little low sitting up over the Great Lakes. I forgot to point that one out on the other map. Both models have that. But the yellow circle shows more snow across Kentucky early on. So the Canadian model is more aggressive with snow for southern Ohio, for eastern Kentucky, and it still has the rain-snow line, I-79 and points east. And then by the nighttime Saturday night, the Canadian model has the snow, let's say, from Morgantown to the north and to the east, and then also has the low sitting in about the same spot, maybe a little bit further north than the GFS model had it. So this is just a 12-hour breakdown from 7 o'clock Friday night to 7 a.m. Saturday. You can see something like 1 to 2 inches of snow across eastern Ohio, picking up a little bit around Charleston, 1 to 2, and then around Summersville, 2 to 3, Elkins about 3 to 4, and of course central Pennsylvania picks up a little bit more, and you can see other spots there. Just 12 hours. Lake Superior area picks up something like 3 to 4. That's, again, just 7 o'clock, Friday till 7 a.m. And then on Saturday, it shifts the bulk of the snow, once again, 4 to 6 inches up into Massachusetts on top of the ice and the snow. And it's only, I put 1 to 2, but that may be a little high. Actually, if you look at the key, it's maybe up to 1 across West Virginia. That's the GFS look. Canadian would have a little bit more. And this is looking at the GFS model now out on Monday. It shows actually a little bubble of snow coming across Interstate 64 in the morning. Don't know, haven't seen that on all the models. Watch that. And yet another storm brewing. A lot like the one that we just saw through the Chicagoland area. That's going to trace to the east. By 7 a.m. Tuesday, the GFS paints a nice swath of snow. Again, there's your line, I-79. If you're east of there, it's just plain old rain. If it's to the west of that line, it's snow, and a good bit of it across southern Ohio, western West Virginia, and eastern Kentucky. And this is a different model that shows it's later. This is actually 7 p.m. Tuesday, and it has the low west of the Ohio River, pushes that rain-snow line way on up toward Toledo, and it has the snow over Illinois. I tend to think that's a little more believable after what we have just seen. Model 2 again by 7 a.m. on Wednesday has the cold air crashing on into West Virginia with just a little light snow, maybe a little bit more up toward the Morgantown area. So that gets you you up to speed on the potential for more snow down the road. Again, we could see maybe a couple of inches on Saturday. We have our eye on that. And then obviously it's going to get very, very cold across the central portion of the nation next week. And out ahead of that, another storm could press in, whether it's Tuesday or Wednesday. So we're going to continue to watch that right here on hopefully what was a little faster Weather Blender blog.